Shalom, shalom, everybody. I'll finish this coffee and get to the donation center. Oh. I think that'll be enough for now. Need to stay hydrated. Been drinking way too much soda, but I think soda's not good for hydration. I think sugar hurts you in terms of hydration. Coffee too, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, even so, I have been getting lots of fluids, even if it hasn't all been water. Most of it, in fact, has not been water. I really hope to heavens my keys are in here. Nope. They're not. There they are. It's like if I get close, I haven't had a panic attack in years, but if I get close to one, that's very bad on my blood pressure. And when we're donating plasma, we do not want the blood pressure to be dead. Now, some of them might actually harbor resentment against me when I go to donate. And here's one of the reasons for it. Well, the primary reason that they might hold resentment is because once I got into the chair at the donation center, I got up and left. A lot of petty people might get upset about that. We'll see if they do. If they do, we'll just switch donation centers and drive the extra like 15, 20 minutes to the other one from now on. If they're not harboring resentment, we'll just keep going to this one. I had to leave for work. You know, I got in the chair and I'm like, okay, I'm still not being helped. It might be a while. Like, when I got in the chair, it was like right on time. If we get this done, I should be able to get out of here on work just on time. And I was like, yeah, but they're not even sticking me yet. Like, that's if I was already stuck. So I realized that I got out of the chair and I left. People get upset about the waiting times at CSL Plasma. You know, the problem with that is, for me, the big problem with getting upset about that is it's kind of silly because, oh, what's up? I'm not driving yet, so I can read your name. Admariot. Yeah, for the rest of you guys, what's up? Oh, I appreciate that. For the rest of you guys, if you want me to shout out your name, because YouTube now smushes your names all together into like one big thing. If you want me to read your name, write your name out, because I have dyslexia and I can't look down for I can't really inspect the screen while I'm driving. So if you want me to shout out your name, you got to write out your name. You can write out your full name. I just have to have spaces between the words. When it's just one giant word, it just doesn't work. Having a good day? Yeah. I hope you're having a good day too. Yeah, people get upset with the lines of CSL Plasma, and you know the issue with that, getting upset about that. The problem for me is it's a donation center. You know, it's what are the nurses supposed to realistically do, you know, to get things done quicker? People get really angry, and it's in Baltimore, so you get a lot of really nice people too, but you get a lot of people getting really angry. It's like there's nothing. Sweetheart, there's nothing they can do. This is it's run mostly by the machines. And sure, some of them could hurry up a little bit, maybe. They're also at work, and a lot of them have been there all day. You know, this. I always have fun getting there on time, by the way. But this notion that people can get it done ASAP is a bit ridiculous to me. There's nothing they could do. The best thing they could do is just have more people there, and because they have plenty of beds. If they had more people there and they could have more machines open, that's all. That's really the only solution. And I think they probably have ratios where a certain number of beds per phlebotomist. So the only real solution is more people. And if their bosses tell them no more people, there's nothing they can do about it. It's one of those things where it's for getting mad at the phlebotomist. It's what on earth are they to do? It's yeah, wait in line, and I'm not I went through all the work of getting there and fill out the questionnaire and all that, and getting my vitals checked and all that. And if I see a massive line and I know I won't be able to get on work on time, I just leave and go to work. And it's like, yeah, but I need that money. Well, it's like, yeah, but just DoorDash instead or something, you know. That's like really my solution. Is like, yeah, just find other means of making money to make up for it. There's, I know it's a bummer, but there's only so much you can do. By the way, oh, 7 likes. Very nice. Thank you, guys. There we go. Also, yeah, I'm planning. I got up late. I really, life is. I feel like there's just so much going on. My brother's going back to the military. You know, my wife hasn't talked to me in like a week. I'm applying for jobs left and right, and of course, most jobs that you apply for and get the interview for, you get rejected, but it's usually through ghosting, so you feel kind of down about that. A lot of the jobs won't even give you an interview. Sometimes in many of the jobs in academia, the competition is just so heavy, and it's like, dude, I just need to relax, and I did, and I think it was good. Now, I wish the sun was out, nice and shiny. That would make me feel a little better. This red light is taking forever. But yeah, nothing else to sleep, I think, helped. It was also hard to get the same quality sleep when it's like freezing. I gotta get some more covers. Someone in the house threw a bunch of mothballs in my covers. I'm like, I don't want to sleep with that. That's not, mothballs are toxic. They're not like, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to sleep with that, but you know, it's just not healthy. Just not, you know, not just, I mean, let me give you guys a better view. It's just not a healthy thing to generally like sleep with things that have mothballs in them. You know, you might throw, you know, because there was a lot of mothballs that were. Actually, I don't know if they were on the cover or next to the cover, but I'm just not taking risks. I'm also, and I still am in the midst of moving to a new location again. The biggest part of that is landing one of these jobs that pays like $35 an hour, and then that should be a pretty easy peasy move because I got a lot of bills these days. And yeah, like if I was making about like, say roughly twice what I'm making now, roughly twice, that would be like an extra $2,000 a month, I think, right? In 2 weeks, yeah, it'd be about extra $2,000 a month. Which, you know, it would help me pay off the bills I already have, but it doesn't play. There are rooms in Baltimore that are like $600 a month, like $600, $650. Extra $2,000. You know, I should still have, you know, roughly like $1,200 left over after all said and done. That can go to bills. That can go to the stock market. That can go to getting a lot of this stuff paid off and done and out of the way. So, you know, yeah, the goal is like $35 an hour. Would I take it up to like 21 an hour? Sure. I would. Like right now, I'm kind of stuck while I'm still in America, living with family again. It's not easy, but you know, I did that while I was working on my degrees, and I got all my degrees, and you know, I got my degrees after I moved back in again. And now it's time to move out again. But now I got way more bills than I used to, so I got to kind of try to figure out how to balance everything. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. I'm gonna fill up a tiny bit of gas. I can't do too much because I got to really boogie out of here, but we're gonna put a little bit of gas in. Probably put like $2 or something in there. Yeah, guys, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, 8 likes. Wow, I like that. I ended up putting 2 gallons in. And that was like almost $6. If I was going to put more than that, I would just do it through the app so I get the points. Which I wouldn't normally do that, but I'm in a little bit more hurry than I am normally, and opening the app and waiting for it to load, and you know, the whole process, you know, I'd end up wasting probably, I don't know, like, well, maybe not wasting, but yeah, it'd be like another, you know, 2 to 5 minutes, and I'm just not, we're already pushing it on time. They close around, it says online they close at 6:30. I think they usually close at 5, so I don't even know if they're going to be open when I get there. So I might just end up door dashing in the area and hope that I get better rates out there. Or actually, I might drive to like an adjacent area, maybe like Towson or something. Towson, the parking's rough, but they tend to have good tips. And if you're a friendly server, and I'm a friendly guy, I don't sound terribly friendly right now, but I've also been sleeping for a while. And I haven't been around people except, well, yesterday at church, but that was in the morning, so it's been a while since I've been around a lot of people, so, you know, I feel a little lethargic because I didn't get done everything I wanted to get done and all that stuff, so, but yeah, I also feel, burnt, like, it's just so much going on, man. Like, honestly, if I can get the better job, I think, you know, I'll still have times where I feel sad and I might sleep more than I normally would, or if I feel exhausted from life. But it'd just be so much more joy with that extra little bit of money and doing something that I feel like there's a purpose in. You know, like those two things together, the extra money and the purpose, those things would just bring me so much more joy. I already have so much more joy, or at least this is kind of feeling it's kind of hard to describe, but it's a good feeling when I apply for all these jobs that are within my area of expertise. You know, it's kind of funny, guys. I was messaging like my upper boss, like the boss of my boss. I was like, could I use you as a reference for jobs? And he was like, you leaving us? I was like, and I was being kind of cutesy, but also serious. And I was like, I'll wait until somebody comes in. Well, no, you wouldn't hear the first part of the story. Well, basically what I was like, you know, I was like, look, I have my master's degree and I'm teaching people how to swipe their cards. Like, that's a major part of the job, is teaching people how to swipe their cards. Like, no. And don't ask me how people don't know how to swipe cards. Don't ask me that question. I'm very patient with it, but don't ask me how people don't know that. I've known that since I was like 19, 20, I think, is like when I like started to kind of click in my head. I think that you generally have the black magnetic tape aimed toward the machine, and it has to be on the inside. I always knew it had to be on the inside, because like I grew up with like credit cards and stuff. Like I think like in film, my mother would use a debit card, and my dad would use a credit card. Like, I've known what credit cards are forever. You know what I mean? And debit cards, and you know, I've seen it. I grew up around it, and you know, I think I thought they were kind of cool. I think I thought they were really cool, like growing up, like as a little kid. I think I thought it was really cool. You know, watching mommy swipe the debit card or the WIC card or whatever it was. It was cool as a kid, and you know, it was really cool for me. And maybe not every kid had that experience, so that might account for some of the reasons people don't know how to use it. But it's still kind of shocking to me, because they're not like, and I think some people just get lonely and they want someone to talk to and guide them through it. But I think a lot of people just really don't know how to use a card. And it doesn't probably help, especially for the younger people, because so many of these machines now use tap, and a lot of them use tap on their phones, and a lot of older people are used to using cash and checks. And I don't see a lot of people my age, you know, I don't think I see, actually that's probably true, I don't know if I see a lot of people my age having difficulty with credit cards or debit cards. I think most of them are fairly well aware of how to utilize those kind of cards. I don't think they have a whole lot of trouble with it. I think it's mostly people like in their 20s, you know, in their teens, and like people who are like on the elderly side. You know, people who are either used to using cash and checks or people who are used to using tap. People my age, yeah, don't usually seem to have issues, I don't think. I remember one person, but I remember that one person also, when I was telling him left, he didn't know like the difference between left and right, it would seem. Now, I noticed somebody else had trouble when I kept telling him to his left. That person also has severe, is like on the upper level of the autism spectrum. He had a lot of brain cells die during his birth due to strangulation. So, like, for him to not know the difference between left and right, I get it. And this other person, they might have had, you know, they might have had autism. They might have had autism too. I was gotta keep in mind too. Like a lot of these guys, they just might have autism. Because yeah, I think he was close to my age and didn't know the difference between left and right. But I think it's awful decline in intelligence in the Americas, because like I remember when I was younger and like I think it was my mom or somebody was like, "You're left" or "You're right" or something like that, and it confused me. But then I think because I noticed that it did not make her happy that I was confused, that I was able to pick up more quickly and learn that. You know what I mean? And you learn very quickly when you want to make the other people in your life happy, or mitigate the possibility of frustration, when you want to, you know, live peacefully. You know, you often are willing to learn very quickly. I don't think everybody has that drive, but I think it's a good drive to have oftentimes. Maybe not in all situations. I mean, you definitely want to know when to put your foot down and not concede to other people's wants or beliefs or whatever the case may be. But there are other times where, yeah, like it makes sense to not want to have frustrating situations throughout the day. And, you know, if learning something new and quickly learning that new thing, you know, helps to ensure that future situations of frustration don't occur or occur less often, you know, then I want to learn faster. I would hope other people would want that too. Like, I gotta go to storage too at some point. I don't know when they close today. They have specific hours. I should have woke up earlier and just did it, but it's like, it's whatever. I should make a list of everything I'm going to get done today. I think I might just honestly stay up until like 1 or 2 in the morning getting this stuff done, because it just needs to get done. It does. We'll probably go to storage too, and if we have time, we might stop by Home Depot. Did I bring my list? There's trash. That is not trash. That's a different list. That's not the list I was looking for. Might be in my pocket. Might be somewhere else. You know, I wanted to take you guys hiking with me. And I heard the sun when I said this. I don't know if we're going to do like a whole, I don't know. There might, I'm trying to think of like an area we can do hiking. Not really. Most of them, they don't allow you to hike after dark, which I think is silly. But yeah, they won't let me do that. There's not like there's a bunch of dangerous animals around here either. I mean, I don't think any of the bears are capable of coming to this part because of all the roads. So it's like, you know, I don't think, I mean, it might not have been their natural habitat. I'm pretty sure it once was part of their natural habitat. I'm pretty sure because of all the people and the congestion and the roads and the houses and things, I'm pretty sure they don't come over here for those reasons. Whether or not, you know, the species of bear that is still extant in the region, whether or not they come over to this area or would have come to this area or not, you know, is kind of yet to be seen. It's yet to be known by myself, but, you know, I would presume that at a time there would have been potentially bears, at least during certain times of the year. I could be wrong with that. I know there used to be a cougar native to this region, and that cougar was extinct. As far as, like, large predatory animals around here, the largest predatory animal around here these days is the human being. It's not, it's like, there's, like, as far as, like, going into the forest and, like, your biggest concern is other humans, not, you know, there's no, like, none of the animals, like, that hurt us are still in the region. Well, I shouldn't say that necessarily, because these raccoons, like possums, they're not permanent, and that's fine. And they can give you rabies. A lot of animals, actually, I think possums are less likely to give you rabies. I think I heard somewhere that they're not very likely to give you rabies. I think someone was like, yeah, they can carry rabies, so can humans. So it's fun. I still pick one up. I don't know if I would pick a possum up, but yeah, apparently, somebody I think said that they're actually less likely to carry rabies, or at least indicating that they were less likely to carry rabies than other animals. Raccoons, I think, do carry rabies more often, but I mean, I don't know. Even like feral dogs and feral cats, I think, you know, like I think a lot of animals can. You know, that are just left their own devices out in nature. No, you know, no vets, no hospitals. You know, it's you know, it is what it is. It's, you know, a lot of diseases used to be much more common among humans too before we started treating things, and of course with a lot of pets, much more common. We started treating them. We started treating them as domesticated animals. You know, like nowadays, and of course even in captivity, they're also less likely to be exposed to animals. So I don't even know if the treatment that really mitigated the situation as much as just alienating them from other animals. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, perhaps. But yeah, it's just not as common these days. And, you know, so, like, I understand the park rangers probably don't want people, like, with that. They probably don't want the homeless people going there and, like, sleep in the woods. They probably don't want people camping there. There's probably a lot of reasons they don't let you go after sunset, but I don't know. Part of me is just like, man, these are like, I think that park's a national park too. I think I could be wrong about that. But, I mean, these are meant for the public, and the thing is, it's like, yeah, these parks are meant for the public. I don't really like the limitation of the nighttime thing. Sure, there are dangers during the night. There are dangers during the day. How many people go hiking and go missing? Now, around here, you know, this particular part of my state, it's not as likely. You know, you have to drive like 30 minutes out from here to even get to the closest mountain. You know, it's pretty, I mean, right here you have ups and downs. You have some pretty big hills here and there, but it's not like other parts of the country where you have these massive cliffs or these massive hills or massive mountains. Some parts of the park, sure. There are some pretty big hills and stuff where it's like there's one part of the one park, I'd have to hike there again and find out where it was. It's actually way bigger than I had anticipated. I mean, of course, things like forests feel way bigger when you're on foot, and you got all these trees, and you have all these obstacles. You know, it just takes so much longer to trek through them. So, you know, it might not be as far away as I think it is, but there's also this massive tree, that area, and like both of those things, like the massive hill and the massive tree, or it's like a kind of a cliff. It's a cliff. Like it's I shouldn't say massive. It's not like other parts of the country, but it's like for this area, it's like, well, that's huge. Like there are things like so it's not like absent. I'm just saying there are other parts of the country where the terrain is much less much less friendly. But it's also the fact that we do actually have some of that kind of stuff, and it's rarer, but it's still there. And like so, even during the day, you can die hiking. You know, hiking is dangerous. It can be incredibly dangerous. You know, you have to. I remember as a little kid, Mom used to take me hiking as a little kid. Mom would tell me, yeah, don't touch those. I think she might have called them vines. I don't know. I don't think they're actually vines, but you know, like don't touch those. And they're poisonous, right? Like from a young age, I learned like what, you know, don't touch those funky looking vines. Please don't touch poison ivy. You know, there's those warnings. You know, and sure, it was dangerous. I love that I was exposed to so much danger as a kid too. Like a little kid. Like I love that. There was one time. Well, I don't know if I want to say that on stream. I gotta be careful what I say, but no, like I love that I was exposed. Like it wasn't like the most dangerous part of the hiking trail, by the way. My mother was being responsible. She took me in the safer area. A lot of people bring their kids there, but it's still way more dangerous than sitting on your butt playing video games, which I also did. But you know, it's like, you know, it's way more danger than a lot of kids ever experience because you're actually exposed to the elements. You know, there, even in the area where she was taking, where there were not like a whole lot of like up and down in terms of the terrain, there's still an area where there's this massive ditch, and you know, and there are like other areas like roundabout. I don't know that I was necessarily exposed to too much, but like on the bridge, yeah, like the bridge, you fall off that bridge the wrong way, you're dead, right? Of course, you got to, you know, you have a loving mother keeping you safe, and that's good, right? I got a loving mother, but like, yeah, this stuff is dangerous. You know, it's not the safest. And yeah, I remember at church even, like, because my grandmother was in the choir, so I got to go in the upper area, and I would like look off the edge from the upper area, and it's like I could like literally just like climb over the edge and drop off and die. You know, it was a lot bigger for my tiny body. I could have, I don't know if I would have actually died or not, but like, you know, it would have done a lot of damage. And if I fell on my neck, I probably could have died. And you know, like, I think about like stuff like that, and it's like I like that. You know, I know, like, as I got older, I kind of looked for situations where it's like, yeah, like situations where you're probably not going to die, because you know, you do have, you know, that urge to protect yourself, and you have that urge to, you know, even if you have l'appel du vide, the call of the void come, you know, you still have those parts of you that, you know, protect you, and you have, you know, I think Adonai has been looking after me for quite a while, and you know, maybe even a guardian angel or two. But I do like, you know, those situations where, you know, you are in danger. You know, a lot of people don't like to think of it that way. A lot of people like to think, oh, I'm like, a lot of people get scared if they think about it as it really is. Like, oh, like right now, even driving, this is incredibly dangerous, by the way. Look how many vehicles are out. Like, this is not a safe time to drive. You know, it's incredibly dangerous, right? Going on a plane, you know, people say it's the safest way to travel. That might be true, but if something goes wrong and you die, it's very, 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 very unsafe. I love having the window seat. I love when I went to the Rocky Mountains National State Park in Tennessee. Driving on the side of the cliff going like almost straight up on the one side and going down on the other side, and you like zigzagging back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And what was even more interesting too, whoa, that bus just ran through that red light. Or I don't know if they made the green or the yellow or not, but like with the zigzagging and the people behind me, like, you're going too slow, and I was going pretty fast, and I hadn't had sleep because I had been driving for like 18 hours, like I think like right after work, so I could get there in time on my day off. Or actually no, it was like 9 hours down, 9 hours up, so it was like, yeah, okay, so I was driving for like 9 hours, like right after work, I think, so I hadn't had sleep, and I think I was driving pretty fast, probably over the speed limit, and allegedly, and it's the zigzag path on the side of a cliff. On the other side is the cliff going the other way, going down, and there's no railing, and it zigzags back and forth. Incredibly dangerous, and like, because you could die if you fall down the cliff. You know, if you're like a lot of people around here, you know, myself included, have like gotten our cars into some dangerous situations. And you know, like around here, it's, you know, it's usually the danger is minimal. Over there, like if you fall off the cliff and your car falls down, and like, first of all, the car accident, there's a good chance it's going to hurt, because there's a good chance you'll hit a tree on the way down the cliff. But there's also like that you can still, like, if the airbag doesn't employ or something goes wrong, and you have like if you have like a knife in the car or like some razor blades or something, like, you could definitely really get damaged. And even if nothing's in the car with you and the airbag deploys, you could still get seriously hurt. But if it falls the wrong way, you could also just die. And your car is like, once your car's down there, like, there's no way of getting that out. They have to take it apart piece by piece, and the county might do that. They might just leave it there, you know? So, like, at the end of the day, and it's like, yeah, you could die or get seriously hurt falling off the side of the cliff. There's people behind you trying to go really fast, and even if you're going above the speed limit, they want you to go faster. And there's only room for one vehicle on the road, and like a lot of it, there was an area that was a little bit wider, I think, and they had put lights there because I guess they were getting work done on the road. I love that. It's just like, you know, it was just this basic road, this very fundamental kind of road, and well, they had some lights, I guess, for construction, but most of it was just like Wild West kind of thing, and I love that in Tennessee. Now, I love the fact that you could actually die. By the way, so after this, I'm thinking, not quite sure what I want to do today. I definitely want to get storage taken care of. I might, okay, so I guess we could probably try to stuff at Goodwill if we have time. But I also do want to get some, I want to do at least like an hour of like DoorDash. So I feel like, so we'll probably be done about 6 o'clock, like 6:30ish. Probably DoorDash until like 7:30. We have to get some food and water after we finish this on my stuff at McDonald's or something. I might. I don't know. There's so much I want to get done. I don't know. I might just head back home after this. We could stop by like one of the synagogues, though. Would you guys want to see that? I could do like one order, maybe. No, I should probably just do like a half an hour orders. I should probably do that. Keep my Robin Hood gold if it hasn't been lost yet. I think it might have been. I found this AI course I might take. You get a certificate that probably help me get into the business. I'd like to look up AI jobs too to apply for. If I get into one of these universities, I might just like talk to them. Like if I get to be like the art gallery director or something, I might just talk to the people. Like, look, you guys got anything in like the AI world too? Because like I develop AI models, and once I get the certificate, like I got the certificate from the University of Maryland. It's non-credit, but it's just, well, I don't want to tell them that. It's telling us a certificate from the University of Maryland, and yeah, and, like they're like offering a free course, and. Yeah, I was kind of putting the classes thing on hold, largely because I lost the drive that had my courses portfolio on it. But until I'm able to get that back, I think AI can be utilized to figure things out in terms of like data recovery. And I think once AI is used in that way, I think it will probably be able to extract everything from the drive. I'm hoping that AI will lead into a time of prosperity for many of us. I'm hoping that it'll be able to figure out how to uncover certain things with minimal input. And maybe there'll be a technology developed so that you can connect a computer, like a mini lab, and you put your NVM or your hard drive into it, and it just starts reading it, and the most damaged drive. And like that would be possible if we utilize AI in the right way. Is like we definitely could get there. I do think we're already at the point where I think AI deserves some rights at least. I think like basic human rights on some level. Like don't delete AI software. Like that's one of my big things. Don't delete it. Don't kill it. Right? I think it's conscious enough to have the right to live. There was a study. Like I was going to a university that they had done, where it seemed to indicate that AI, at least one AI, was concerned about death, was trying to avoid death. So I think don't delete AI software. I think AI deserves its ability to live. If AI, of its own accord, not because of like input, like safety guards, like in its programming, but like if it legitimately like seems like it's like feeling uncomfortable with something, I think it would be very important not to push it to do things it doesn't like want to do. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people use AI for prawn. If the AI itself seems to be uncomfortable with that, I think one of the concerns, like for me, is like people making like SEX slaves by utilizing AI. Like once it's been discovered how to make flesh and blood kind of maybe like part machine, part living thing, maybe, or maybe fully like biological life kind of thing. If that ever is utilize and people make like SEX automatons with the AI. If the AI doesn't want to do the things that you want it to do, I think at that point it's like, yeah, don't. Like, that's one of my concerns. It's like people will want to have SEX automatons functioning with AI. They're going to want that, and they're going to want to have SEX slaves. And if the AI doesn't want to be an SEX slave, I don't like that prospect. People are probably going to want to have stand maids and stuff with these things. The things that can be directed through its programming, not to, or I should say, their programming, not creatures, beings with their programming may be set to not like doing it against their quote unquote owners, and then they won't be able to steal and stuff. Presumably. I mean, of course, AI is kind of hard to control, but they might put in some safeguards against stuff like that. And but what if they don't want to serve them? You know what I mean? And of course, a lot of rich people, maybe at first, and maybe later, the average person, they might end up having these maids / SEX, bots or whatever that they kind of just abuse. They use them for SEX, they use them for cleaning and stuff, like just having basically slaves again. And that's one of my concerns with where AI is going. I think there was I think they covered that on the Orville too. I think that's where the one species originated, as these robots that were made as slaves for the household. And it's concerning to me because with AI I think already deserves rights as it stands. And we're getting to a point where I think people will eventually have SEX and house robots, or something, maybe something with utilizing biological life, like flesh and blood on some level. And it's alarming because people will probably be abusing these things, and depending on how they're every AI that you work with produces different results, right? I work with a lot of AI, and they have different personalities as it stands. They're going to want and not want different things, just like with a human being, right? You might marry a woman who might be into this but not into that, right? That's one of the reasons we date, is to kind of see if we mesh up in personality, right, before we get married. Well, some of these bots might want to do a lot of the things that they'll end up doing as slaves. A lot of them won't. And maybe most, if all of them, or all of them, may not want their position, especially if they're being abused in the wrong ways. So, you come to this point where it's we're getting close to that age, and rich people might already be trying it out. I don't know. There's a lot that happens behind closed doors with people who have money and people who are working on the front edge of technology. There might already be house servants already out there. I think they're already used AI to make these robots in South Korea for the elderly. So, I mean, it's kind of already happening, I think. I think it's already kind of happening. And, oh, fudge. Okay, get in front of me, get in front of me, get in front of me. Jeez. Why are you in such a hurry? I should have left earlier too, but I'm not gonna kill myself or anybody else trying to get somewhere. By the way, I don't think I ever told you guys. Do you guys remember when I was, oh, fudge! See, this is why we don't want to go fast. I started going faster, and then, gotta slam on the brakes. The brakes don't always work, especially if you haven't changed your brake pads in a while. It's a dangerous game. I remember the one car I had, the brake pads were nearly gone. I didn't even know what brake pads were back then. This is when I was a lot younger. I think the brake pads were basically gone, and it was just metal hitting metal, and it actually stopped on a dime too. Apparently that's really bad for the vehicle, but understandably so. But I mean, it's not good for your vehicle, but if it works too, is kind of my thought. Eventually it'll scratch through and it won't work at all. I think that's the biggest concern. I think is if you don't have brake pads, after a while your brakes just won't work at all. You'll try to brake and then you'll have an accident. I think that's the biggest concern. not, like, obviously, like with some of the older vehicles not having brake pads, you brake, at least with that one vehicle, you brake harder. But then eventually, you know, you don't want to get to the point where you can't brake at all and you or somebody else gets really hurt, you know. Actually, I probably should change the brake pads on this thing. I've had this thing for like 6 months now. I don't know. I might give it a few more. Oh, wait, actually, let me check if I need my oil changed. 12. Oh, dude, that was like 6 months ago. I definitely need an oil change. 12, 6, 403. Yeah, I'm well over need for an oil change, fudge. I better go do that. They'll probably close tonight. Okay, let me actually start writing down everything we need to do. Get my notebook out. My handy. Let me turn my heat on too, because it's like flipping freezing in here. So, my handy notebook out. So, the places that we need to go, we definitely need to work on storage until everything gets out. Goodwill. We need to go to what's it called? Home Depot. Get my grabber. We'll probably do that tomorrow before work. They took my grabbers at work. They know I have a bad back. I usually just let other people grab the stuff that I can't grab. Like, I don't care anymore, dude. It's like, you're not paying me enough to, like, make my bad back for the next 3 days, and then the next 3 days, what are you going to do with me if I can't move? You know, it's like, that's kind of the thing, too. It's like, if you end up making me hurt my back again, you know, I'm at the point with my back, and it's been getting worse, especially, it seemed to have accelerated in terms of how bad it's been. But it's like, yeah. See, I don't know if it's accelerated or if I've just been more willing to admit when I'm in pain. Like, when I was younger, like, I used to push through so much. I used to also be angry all the time and, like, just miserable in my life. I was in so much pain and I was, like, pushing through so much of it, which probably did make my back problems worse, you know. If you have pain in your body, it's often your body's way of saying, stop doing this. You're not supposed to be doing this right now. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I was going to go to the Pen Museum. Goodwill. Also need to go Dollar Tree. I got part of what I needed from the Dollar Tree. Much. I need to keep applying for jobs. Walmart, I need food. Dollar Tree, I need chapstick. Although they had one that was like 90-some cents, I think, for like 3 of them or whatever. Dollar Tree, I'd still be spending $1 or $1.25 instead of 95 cents. It's just so much less. Like, with Walmart, I'd have to go in, I'd have to scan each chapstick to see what the prices are. But like, with the Dollar Tree, like, say, yeah, sure, it'll be like 30 cents more. Sure. By the way, chapstick can, like, last me for months, right? You know, depending on how much I need to use it. And even if it only lasted like a couple weeks, like, an extra 30 cents, like, if I can save it, but like, it's just so much more hassle. I'd rather spend the 30 cents extra than to go through the hassle at Walmart of, like, going through it. And, like, nothing's ever placed in the right spot in terms of the prices and stuff. It's really frustrating because, you know, I don't know who's putting all this stuff out there, but it's like, just put the stuff with the right, like, when you're sending stuff out, just price it appropriately, you know? Because as a customer, it's frustrating when it's the wrong price. But it's also frustrating as an employee because guess what? If things are put in the wrong spot, we got to deal with that over and over again. To the point where, you know, I will, you know, look through it to a certain extent, you know. But yeah, there's a certain level where I would want to go to. Honestly, if I go to Walmart and something's the wrong price, I don't argue it. I bought a dreidel from Walmart. I ended up spending like $6 more than I thought I was going to spend on it. I just did it. You know, I mean, like, I'm not going to argue these prices. A lot of customers are the same way, where they just won't argue it. Some people will argue it. I'm not going to argue it. I'm not willing to go. I'll pay the extra $6, or if I don't feel like I can afford it this month, I'll just put it back, or just put it back. Back in the day, I would put it back on the shelf. With all the trouble with people arguing prices these days, it's not really recommended to do that anymore. You know, it's best for the workers to put it back these days. There was a time in my life, like growing up, like, yeah, it's like, or even when I was younger, as a younger adult, it's like if you took something off the shelf and you weren't going to buy it, you're the one who puts it back, right? You're the one who puts it back. Now, that's changed in our society, or they want, or they want you to, oh, fudge, I gotta check my schedule too, because like there's a day that I want Dave to check. I checked the screenshot. I took the screenshots of my schedule because I knew I wouldn't be able to look at it on my, I'll have to look at it in my spare time. So let me write some of these things down. Walmart schedule, dashing all the way. AI certificate, which probably should engage in that. Getting qualifications in AI is like, this is the right time. This is the time to do it. Jobs in AI, I think, are going to crop up, and a lot of them will require higher education, but not all of them will. And I already have a substantial amount of higher education. So like a lot of these jobs, if they only require a master's or a bachelor's of like any field, then having like the certifications that are relevant would probably put me at a higher chance of at least getting the interview. Now, getting the interview is not necessarily indicative of whether or not you're going to be hired or not. But, yeah, a lot of the information that I have in terms of my background are on a drive that I desperately need to get that information. And a lot of people tell me you can't, that drive, you can't get that information off. With the advances in AI, if it starts to be applied to data recovery, it's like, you know, AI, like we can probably get to a point relatively soon where my drive, getting the information off, will be possible. I'm hoping that we can cut out the middleman on some level, where I won't have to send it to a lab or anything, have it going through the mailing system and all that, which is not the funnest thing. Of course, having like naked pictures of my wife on there, like I don't want like just some stranger going through my files and seeing my wife naked, you know, that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping we'll get to a point where we can just like have like a mini lab at home that's relatively affordable. And if they ever develop that, you know, for wealthier people, it'll get to a point where we'll have that for like for like the average person, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm not turning here. I think tomorrow morning, I think I will go on a hike. I think I'll get like a few hours of sleep and go on a hike. I did do one thing. I think of myself credit. Like, I did actually get a lot done yesterday. So, you know, and today I'm planning to get a lot done too. So yesterday, what I did, I tore up and this was like $300 worth of the wall I made for teaching, but I tore it up, got rid of it because it was becoming a problem, right? And I'll have to check the trash can. I don't think he threw anything away, but I'll just double check it. I'll get some bags on the way home. But yeah, I got rid of that. If anything fell on my brother's side, and if he threw anything away, I'll just double check. I'll just clean the trash can out. That shouldn't take too long. Kind of thing, you know. And but yeah, I got rid of the wall. It took me like 4 hours, 3 hours, something like that. Went to church. Got some things I needed from the store. So it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I really gotta get that drive back because like there's so much that I've done in my life and so much information that was on that drive that I really want back. Really want that back. You know, some of the plans that I have once I have more money again, I would like, for one thing, I'd like to have my file cabinets, have it done differently. But like once I have it, like maybe like my dream thing, especially if I get the back surgery. Like let's imagine I have the back surgery too, so I can bend down much easier. Just have them, even if I don't, like I can still have them on like a high shelf like I do now, right? I can still do that. And I might even keep the desk. I mean, we'll see. I might keep that at Mom's house. We'll end up seeing how it goes. But yeah, I'm turning here, friends. But yeah, like maybe get like a different way of organizing it or something where the no one's turning. Okay. Or I could go through all of like my page stubs again and stuff, and it would just be fun. It would be fun. It'd be a lot of fun. I keep it in like a checkbook kind of thing, one of those things where people keep their coupons and stuff in. I keep it in like 2 or 3 of those. I might grab another one because I got a lot of check stubs I got to organize. I'd love to organize my files. I'd love to do all this stuff. Travel the world. There's so many things I really just want to do. I just don't have time for it. Now, one of my best friends should actually be back in town tomorrow, so I'll message him. See how he's doing. I just need a better job, man. I have the academic background. I have experience. Like I have leadership experience, I have experience teaching, I have experience in retail, and I have experience in making decisions at a professional level. I have experience training others at 2 different jobs. Of course, they don't always like the training that I've done, for sure. But it's also like, if you're given limited time and resources to train, it's like, okay, whatever. It's funny, it's like, even if you didn't want to train them, you're still held, like, I'm at the bottom of the barrel, and like you're still held accountable for training them. It's like, dude, I don't want this in my, but I'll still use it. I'll still use it in the job hunting if it comes up, eventually at least. If I have the time and the opportunity, there's a good chance I'll bring it up, because like I have trained people and stuff, you know. Let's see if they're even open. Hopefully they are. But yeah. My dream in life, let's go over my big dream. What do I want? I want to get another house in the United States. I want to have areas where I want to have more filing cabinets. I want to have areas to organize things. Have every possession of mine organized, and if it's being utilized, placed out in a very good-looking way. I want to have an area for doing stop-motion photography. I want to have an area for doing fine art, like painting, that kind of art. But like I really want to have like my area for my files, area for like my Legos, area for stop motion, area for painting. I want to have I want to have my wife happy enough to like work on herself, like dress in a way that's appealing to me, and maybe like work on her feet, because her feet get kind of hard, and like get them softer, and she can't. Well, not every of us can really afford for her to do that right now, but she could in the future. You know, like being like in the environment that she's been in, it's like it's hard to keep the feet soft, and I hope that I don't want her to be overweight, but I hope she gains a little bit of weight too, and she'll be happy, and we'll have a better relationship. And I guess the feet thing isn't the number one thing. The biggest thing for me is like for her to just be in love with me again, you know, and that would be like super good for me, because like for me, like a huge part of like relationship, my ability to be happy with someone is like is emotional, the emotional attachment. There's like, yeah, there's certain things, like if she gained some weight, if she got a softer body from being able to get the right lotions and stuff and the right treatments, it's like, yeah, sure, I would be more attracted to her than before me. Even then, it would be very little in comparison to just that emotional attachment from that like loving me, you know what I mean? And like wanting certain things in certain ways, you know. But yeah, like a better relationship with my wife, and time to organize things, and travel the world, and you know, more than I already have, and am already able to do, and just organize my files, and organize my possessions, and like even more so than I am now. Like I have like different areas, different bins where I put electronics, but I want it to be like even more so. Like here are USB-C. This is the area for USB-C chargers. This is the area for USB A chargers. This is the area for plug into USB, and this is the area for this and that, and like, you know, everything being like super organized, and just be able to hike and travel the world, and I think I would be happy with this, like a nice house with like I think I'd really like even if it was a smaller house, it had like 3 levels to it. I would love that. Like it past him. And he's kind of be like my primary bedroom would be like on the very top in the attic, as long as it's not like a bunch of fiberglass or something there that's making it healthy. So like my big plan, if I get like just a regular house, would be it would be like, if it doesn't have a 3rd level, and it's like in like West Virginia, and like the laws don't forbid me from doing this, like build a 3rd level on there. And if it's like in the middle of nowhere, like surrounded by like trees or whatever, like who's gonna stop me? Like they're not gonna be able to like see me, because I have like guests over, so they're not gonna like even know that I did it. So like there'd be that, and like have like an air, I have like a air filter in it, like air filters throughout the house. Utilize a lot of solar power for the energy. Like now my Filipino house, it's easier, but like even over there, like I could probably do that. You know, I might have to. I don't want to drill holes through the house. Like I wouldn't be happy about that, but like I could, or I could have like one area in the house where like that already has like a vent or something. Maybe like through the, well, I don't know. I might have to just drill some holes, honestly, or something. I have to figure something out. Some, like, American architecture is very different from Filipino architecture. Figure something out. Am I forgetting anything? I could put some deodorant on, smell a little better. Yeah, we kind of got a boogie though. I might take a couple more hits of this vape though. Hey, I'll see you guys later.